What's happening, everybody? How are you all doing? Welcome to Serial Sunday. Back with our host Phil, and of course myself, Rocco. How are you all doing? Hope you're all doing well. Phil, how has your week been this week? How are you?
Wow, it's been wild, man. I've been on airplanes a lot, so I've been traveling, touring, and actually, you say on the road, and I've kind of been on the road, but I'm actually home today, which is kind of cool. So
yeah, that's great.
I'm home for a minute, and next week Oklahoma, and then we just continue our tour. So
yeah,
we have awesome. Labor Day weekend coming up here in the United States, kind of a nice relaxing weekend, and then I'm back on the road. How about you out there in the big country?
Just continuing to live the dream, Phil. Living the dream right now, but we're turning corners, and that's it. That's the update on my life. That's how exciting things are here. I do apologize to everybody.
I don't see you on the screen.
I couldn't find the little holder for the camera, and I can't get it to sit anywhere where it's not going to roll on. It's like it won't balance on its middle. So I do apologize. You have to stare at a tiny little circle emulating from Phil's chest for the rest of this evening. But I can assure you, everything's fine. Everything's fine.
Hey, we have not. Our hater has not showed up and given us that one thumbs down. I don't feel comfortable.
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird, right?
I don't feel comfortable. Can someone at least give me one thumbs down? Just so
yeah, just keep the egos in check.
Somebody just one. Yeah. Don't all of you like 50 thumbs downs, and people think we had a really bad week. Just one.
I just want to throw out as well. There's a bunch of.
We got 4 thumbs down. Damn it!
Damn. Yeah, that's that's literally meme-worthy quotes here, Phil. So yeah, that's just how the internet works. But we've got new content, part 2 of Serial Killer Myths going live tomorrow and Thursday.
I love the one you. It was great.
Oh, wicked! Yeah, I'm really pleased that you do. And I know a lot of people are asking about serial killer interviews and all the rest. But just to remind everyone, of course, Phil has been on the road. And he's been moving house and all that kind of jazz. So we've got some new content starting, some narration stuff by myself. And this Thursday you'll get the first video from me on this channel, just to kind of give you guys a little something extra in the true crime world. So yeah, exciting stuff. I
like that.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
I like that. And we're we're gonna get back in the groove of interviewing serial killers. I've been working a lot on the podcast. I don't know if I have said this before, but the podcast is official, and it drops October 6th. So season 2 of Where the Bodies Are Buried drops October 6th, and let's see, we're pretty soon will be September 6th here, and before you know it. So we're a month away from a major launch and lots of news with that.
Yeah.
And I've been kind of like putting the polishing, finishing touches on the podcast. We try to get the whole season done before it drops.
Yep.
So we do all 10 episodes and then we drop the podcast. So I've been kind of focusing on that. We're working on some possible TV shows, but I am going to dive back in and bring you guys some content. Just some real straight up serial killer interviews. Let me show you what it looks like. Let me just
absolutely. Here. See, that's the thing as well. Like, it's easy for us to forget just how busy Phil is on his on season compared to his off season, and we'll juggle.
These are all the letters that are getting ready to go out, and I got tons of people in folders, and so we're getting ready to send a whole bunch out.
Oh wow!
And that will result in some new relationships and to lead us to new interviews. So. Yeah, I'm writing really interesting people right now. I think you guys are going to be very, very happy with what you're going to see.
Yeah, that sounds awesome. Now, just to remind you as well, if you are not subscribed to the channel, make sure you are subscribed. And if you haven't already, please leave a like. And if you can, share. We're trying to get back into the favorable side of the algorithm. After the last couple of weeks, Phil had devastating tooth injuries like I had. He's also drinking out a red cup like a proper American. Holy shit, that was some cliche
What's it
cup.
called? What is it called here? What do we call
It's
this?
just, I don't know. We just call them the red cups. I mean,
It's the Red Solo Cup.
the red Solo cup.
There's even a song about it, Red Solo Cup.
Dude, it's iconic. It's iconic.
I have a shirt on today.
Okay.
This is a friend of mine. His name is Rick, and his company is Sick Rick Masks.
Sweet.
Sick, SIK, Sick Rick Masks. And
Nice.
when you see me in some of the earlier videos, when I was in my house in North Carolina, I had a studio and I had all those masks above me, right? So we're hoping to be back in a studio in November. So a couple more months, and I'll reset up my studio. But I've got two new pieces of my collection kind of that I want to show you. And one of them is, Rick gave me this shirt to wear tonight. It's one of Sick Rick masks. This, friends, drum roll, please. This is the back of him.
All right.
This is number 30. See, it's number 30 of 90. I think no, 30 of 40. 30 of 40. I didn't even look how many it was. This is the one and only. You know who it is. He wears shades. He wears aviators in court. This is the Night Stalker.
Oh, damn.
Richard Ramirez, the Night Stalker. I wanted the pentagram that he put on his hand. We had him put on his forehead. You can see his teeth. This is very realistic.
Oh, man. He's got the worst mouth in the history of serial killing.
Yeah.
The worst mouth.
Really, if you Google image Richard Ramirez, you'll see the photos of him in court with these glasses. You'll see the pentagram on his hand, and you'll see his wicked teeth. And a lot of people who are like fanboys of Ramirez were mad that he even has acne and everything, as you see here.
Yeah, yeah.
A lot of people were mad that he made him out to be a monster, and I said he was a monster.
Yeah.
Ramirez was a fucking savage when it came to murders. He used hammers, he used hatchets, he used axes, he used whatever he had to. He would shoot you, stab you, beat you to death. And children, adults, he didn't care. He was a monster, and I think that was a really good portrayal of him. So it's Sick Rick Masks, and Rick's a great guy. And I posted some video on my Facebook of him. You can see his studio. It's pretty cool.
Wicked. Yeah, that's awesome.
The second thing we have, we're working on a true crime museum, and we picked this guy up. He's going to come on the road with me and wear my shirts. He's my shirt model. We call him Rocco, short for Ron. We'll first show his. I've never showed his backside. This might get us banned from YouTube.
There we go. The gluteus or whatever it's called.
This is a 1930s mannequin they would use in like med school. There's the way he looks for real.
Damn.
And then look how wicked that is, man.
That's some freak. Where the fuck do you get these things?
Organs, all these pieces come. This is why his name is Ron, because his whole insides are bared for the whole world to see.
Yeah, exactly.
But this is Ron.
Mad. Yep.
He's gonna wear our t-shirts at our merch booth. So
I love that.
Yeah.
Where the hell do you just pick that up? I just want to say as well, thank you to Teddy Burr and to James for joining the membership. That's awesome. Thank you. Yeah, where do you just pick these things up? Like where?
I live in Cleveland, Ohio, and we have a real curiosity shop, occultic, like Ouija boards and taxidermy stuffed animals, and I'm always looking for weird stuff like that.
That's cool. That's cool. So it's not like
we're working on something. I'm starting to frame all my pieces up. So like I'm gathering all my John Wayne Gacy stuff, and we're gonna put it in a huge frame. All my Charles Manson, all my Richard Ramirez, and we're gonna do this like a traveling crime museum where you'll come out to a winery, you'll sip on some wine, and you can kind of tour.
This is what it's all been building up to. It's all been leading up to the wineries. That's what it is. That's what it is. I love that.
And I come out, my fee is all the wine I can drink that night. That's all.
Mate, nah. The first winery will say yes to that. Then they'll be out of business. Okay.
They'll be like, we better just pay him.
Let's just give him money. That's way easier.
Yeah. So I want to thank everybody. You guys have been very supportive, and the comments you leave on the videos are super cool. I do read them, and I want to thank you. And We appreciate the support. It means a
We
lot,
do.
really.
We
It does
do.
mean
Yeah,
a
we
lot.
do.
It makes
Yeah.
it all worth it. We're not getting paid to do this. We're just trying to put out some content that you guys enjoy.
Yeah.
And tonight about a real life boogeyman, a
Yes.
real life monster. And I'm going to show you his arrest photo because it's a lot more scary. His name's Cleophas Prince Jr. And his nickname is the Claremont Killer. Now, there was a Claremont Killer in another country. I got to get my camera back to normal here. Boom. There was another Claremont Killer. I think it was in Australia.
Okay.
It was either Australia or the UK. And so not to be confused with the other one, this is the Claremont Killer in the Claremont neighborhood in San Diego. And this is the guy. Think about, for all the ladies in the room here, all the ladies on the feed today. Think about this. What is your biggest fear? We can go back to 1960, the movie Psycho, Norman Bates, Psycho.
Yeah.
It was the shower scene, and after the shower scene in I can't get my camera to come back to normal. Hold on. It's like once it gets.
Yeah. It's
come on, camera. Stick with me. So. Yeah, like women wouldn't take showers for a long time after Psycho came out.
Okay, yeah, I'm with you.
That was a UK Alfred Hitchcock from the UK. It was his movie, and it was amazing. And so this is the boogeyman that comes while you're in the shower or the bath and surprises you and kills you. And rapes you and kills you. It's very scary.
That's his MO was to catch you in the shower and get you in the shower.
Yes, like yes, and he would kind of stalk people. I can't get my camera back to normal. Hold on.
Use your hand. Try using your hand. There's too much light bouncing
come on,
off.
guys.
There's too much light bouncing off of the.
Okay, but he would tell me if it comes back or not, Ron.
Yeah, I will.
He would kind of stalk people. And I don't know how he knew. Maybe he saw you come home from the gym. Maybe he knew you're getting ready for work.
I tell you what, Phil. I tell you what.
Yep.
where you muted yourself, turn the camera on and off. There's a button beside there that says start video. Turn it on and off again, and that should fix the camera, mate. Let's see what your camera says this time.
Okay.
Oh no, it's been a pain in the butt. Try your hand one more time.
I know it is.
And then if it doesn't work, we'll just have to go with it. Sorry, everybody. Yeah, try your hand again, Phil. Up against it.
It's like it won't come off of.
Yeah, it might not be. Yeah, that's a little disappointing that we can't fix that, everybody. But it may fix itself. I do apologize. It's
no problem.
It's the way it goes.
So, anyways, this guy does what is our biggest fear? Even for the guys, I mean, you're in the shower and you hear a noise, like, what the hell was that, right? Well, what the noise was is the boogeyman is in your house and you're about to be raped and murdered. And so I always try to honor the victims, but this is his graduation photo on top.
Oh, damn.
This is graduation photo. This is his arrest photo. These are 5 of the victims.
Oh, shit.
And if you watch my latest video that Ron put up this week on the serial killer myths, this all kind of goes into who the serial killers are, who they're killing, and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
This guy actually went into the service. Like, he went into joined the military.
Okay.
And he was trying to do good, I guess. And I think a lot of this has to do with the anger because he got he got court-martialed and got kicked out of the service, out of the Navy. So I believe he's one of those anger killers. And he's killing out of anger, right? So his spree runs from January of 1990 to September. So it's about an 8-month spree. And he kills 6 people in 8 months that we know of. Wow. 6 people in 8 months. So the first victim he kills, we don't have a great picture of her, but this is the best we can get. This is a 20-year-old. Her name's Tiffany Schultz. So 20 years old, his first victim in January of 1990. Okay. I like to also look at how much of a cooling off period do these killers take. I find that very interesting. So a month later, he likes it. He obviously likes it. A month later, he kills Janine right here. Janine, this young lady right here. First one on the page. She is He's 21 years old. So he kills his second victim, 21 years old. Then he takes a 6 weeks, another break, 6 weeks, and comes back and he kills Holly Tarr, the second victim on here. And she is 18 years old, pretty young. Then he takes a month to 6 weeks again, and he kills another young lady. This one is, she's a little bit older. She's 38. Her name's Alyssa Keller. Okay. Alyssa Keller. Okay. And then that was on May 21st. Then he takes a 4-month break. So something happened in his life, or he killed other people that haven't been connected to him. But he takes a 4-month break, and then he does something really crazy. He commits what we call in the murder business a double homicide. He commits a double. He kills a mother and her daughter. So Pam Clark, who's 42, Amber Clark's 18. So his last murder, September 13th, 1990, he kills a mother and a daughter. Not only did he kill them, though, he kind of staged their bodies. Like after he raped them and killed them, he would lay them out and he would put their arms over like it was a funeral. He would do some really weird stuff. He would drop drops of blood on their chest, stomach, nipples, whatever. He would lay their arms out. He always did weird stuff with the bodies. And he was going after one woman. After this, he was going after another woman, and she she heard him coming in the house, and she chased him away. And it's like he came in the front door, ran out the back door, or vice versa. And somebody saw him, and they made a drawing of him, and they arrested Cleophas Prince Jr., very, very dangerous killer, San Diego, California, the Claremont killer. Y'all can look him up and read all about him. There's tons of information. There's multiple books on him. But he's married. I think he's married. He's on San Quentin's death row. He's married. He wants nothing to do with me. He doesn't like me. He doesn't want to talk to me. You know, when someone's usually married, he
doesn't like you.
He doesn't like me. He doesn't like me. When somebody mentions my name to him, like I have a bunch of friends on death row in San Quentin, they say, "Hey, Phil Chalmers," and he's like, "Don't ever mention his name." You know, so because he's trying to get out of prison. He's trying to get off death row. He's trying to get out of prison. He's married, and those kind of guys usually don't want to talk to us.
Okay. Do you think that's because you're associated with like admitting guilt?
Oh, of course. Yeah. And he's guilty. I mean, but they didn't, here's the thing. If they don't catch somebody holding a body, like, oops, I'm caught, right? If they don't catch you in the act, it's pretty easy to say, I didn't do that. But there's tons of evidence. You had the jewelry of the victims. They found the jewelry on him and all kind of stuff. He says, I bought it. He's making up some kind of story.
Yeah, I just so happened to buy all the missing jewelry from the person whose blood I just so happened to be covered in.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And
yeah.
Now, I'm not sure if he had sex with all the victims. This might just be. It's called anger retaliatory murder, an anger retaliatory killer, where they just kill out of anger. They're trying to get revenge, and a lot of those guys won't have sex with him, but they did find them nude. And he did some really weird shit with the blood and stuff. So maybe that was a sexual charge if he didn't really have like intercourse with the victims.
So was there just the one doubler? Was it just the one double killer?
Yeah, just one.
And was that at the very end?
At the very end.
Do you think?
You know what I'm thinking, Ron?
Well,
I'm thinking he was.
Tell me what you think.
He was after I think he was after the 18-year-old. And maybe didn't know the mother was home.
Well, it's interesting. It's interesting you say that, Phil, because he must have stalked these women, like clearly to get because you don't just so happen to guess when someone has a shower. Okay, let's be honest. Okay, so you're going to have to learn this a little bit. So he must have known,
right? Yeah,
he must have known that she didn't live alone. And if that was her dad, I don't think he would have picked her as a target. I think it was the fact that it was the mother and it was this double whammy that you wanted to... You know how some serial killers escalate how quickly they kill after each kill? I think this was his version of that. I think he was trying to then move on to killing mothers and daughters. I think that would have been his new MO after that.
I mean, it definitely could be like maybe he needed his next charge a double.
Yeah.
It was that, or he got surprised. Like
Yeah.
BTK went to kill a 12-year-old girl, and he got surprised that there were 4 family members home. The Oteros, yeah, he killed all 4.
Oh shit.
Somebody asked me, Angus Young, how do I get a Ted Bundy?
Backpack.
Oh, backpack. I don't know what you mean by backpack, but if you want a Ted Bundy mask, Rick, it's Sick Rick. His website, sickrickmask.com.
I'll fire the website in for you. Sick Rick.
Yeah, sickrickmask.com. It's SIKRIK. You can get a Ted Bundy mask, which are super cool. I have one here.
I just want to say, just while you're on the subject of your memorabilia, during that interview with Mike, Dr. Amon, you showed some pretty impressive framed memorabilia of Manson, I think it was, and I can't remember who the other one was. Obviously, that was pre-move. Do you know what I mean? That was filmed before you moved.
Right.
So honestly, I think all of us are just banging our heads off the wall, waiting for the flipping museum to happen, because it's so exciting. It's so exciting.
I'm getting ready to start piecing everything together.
Oh yes,
framing. I think you're going to be like Ron. I have a storage unit full of letters and paintings, and
it's wild.
Just organizing it and piecing it together so it makes sense. So like if somebody comes out to our display, they can look at a piece and like, this is John Wayne Gacy's painting. This is, this is a signature. This is, little pieces of his life.
Yeah, it's amazing.
In each stop,
Could you imagine?
Somebody said, well, Angus Young, how can I get a Ted Bundy backpack? Phil has shown. I'm not sure what he means.
Baggy with his black bag cup. Baggy with his black bag cut up. Oh, I think it was the little piece.
Oh, that's a piece of Ted Bundy's kill kit.
There you go. Fuck, you're such a maniac. Who the fuck owns this stuff?
I think that's all been sold out, but once in a while somebody will sell pieces of it.
Yeah, that's
on
wild.
Some of these sites where you buy things. I would try Murder Auction.
Mentalstuff.com. That's fucking wild.
Yeah, murder auction. Check that out and type in Ted Bundy. Now, somebody else said, Ray J said, any killers Phil would refuse to talk to. Any killers that I would refuse to talk to. First of all, I'm not freaked out or creeped out by any killers. I'll talk to any killer that I have an interest in. So, I mean, there's 2 ways we can go. Number one, I'm not interested in somebody kills their wife or someone kills their ex-boss. I mean, I'm not really interested in like single crimes adults kill. I'm interested in teen killers. I'm interested in school shooters, serial killers, and mass murderers. I do not like to talk to people who claim they're innocent. So if I'm talking to someone and they say they're innocent, then I say, okay, well, I talk to people who are guilty. So God bless you on your quest. We don't have anything to talk about.
I've collated all the questions here for you, Phil, right? So we've got...
Oh, good. Thank you.
How's Daisy doing? I hope she's doing better. Has the cone of shame gone?
So my tooth is better. Thank God. It was terrible. I told Wendy last Sunday, I can't do it.
Just kill me. Just take me outside and shoot me in the head.
Because I couldn't see the dentist until Monday.
Yeah.
I was in grievous pain.
Yeah.
So thank God I'm better. And then Daisy she got spayed last week. And so she has stitches and she wears this cone once in a while, but she's doing pretty good. Like she's back to playing and she's back to being spunky. So she's fine. She's doing good.
She's got a personality, that dog.
Yeah,
definitely.
Really does.
Literally zero. She couldn't give a shit about having hearing, mate. Like zero impact on her life at all. Like just living her best life constantly. Here's another one for you. Could you go into the correlation with killers and wetting the bed? Because it's not so much a correlation between wetting the bed and being a killer. It's a multitude of factors. Do you want to just give everyone like the cliff notes on that, Phil?
Yeah. So when the profilers, like if you've seen the show Mindhunter on Netflix, the profilers, they did these interviews where they interviewed like 36 serial killers, not many.
Okay.
And they came up with these 3 behaviors they call the homicidal triad. And they said, if your kid is doing one of these three things, they might become a serial killer. And I was like, okay, that's very interesting to me.
Yeah,
It
definitely.
was animal cruelty, killing and torturing animals. We get that. When you have enough balls to kill an animal, a dog or a cat, man, that's not good. Then they also have fire starting, which setting fires it can be kind of like a sexual thing. Like when you set fires, people get power from it, they get sexual release from it, or setting fires like David Berkowitz, the son of Sam, would do it to control the whole city. And he would sit there in the woods and watch how he controlled the whole city. But the third piece is the bedwetting. It's called urinalysis, and it's a thing you can't control. It's an emotional thing you can't stop. Like it just happens in the night or whatever. So there's three ways to look at it. Number one, I think kids who wet the bed or defecate in their clothing, they're being molested. Secondly, they're being extremely bullied. Number three is they are possibly violent. Like something is wrong, and we saw a lot of killers growing up wet the bed. Albert Fish, y'all know him. Wet the bed. There's several serial killers that were bedwetters, and it's pretty common. James McJames II said, "Am I familiar with Merle Allen's?" I know who Merle Allen is. I think it was his birthday recently, and he's got a museum. Yes, there's a lot of guys that have serial killer collections. Merle Allen's one, and there are several of these kind of collections nationwide. I just came from Las Vegas, Ron. I went to Zach Baggins.
Yeah,
Zach Baggins is the guy y'all see on the Travel Channel with the haunting, haunting, and that kind of thing. And Zach Baggins has a place in Las Vegas. It's a haunted museum, and amazing place. I loved it. And he has a room that's just serial killers. Charles Manson, he's got Ted Bundy's glasses. He's got Bonnie and Clyde's fishing tackle box. He's got Ted Bundy's entire kill kit. Like I can't imagine how much that's worth, but yeah, I would highly recommend if you guys ever make it to Las Vegas to go to Zach Baggins' Haunted Museum. You will love it.
Yeah, there was actually a couple of videos on YouTube that went not viral, but a few years ago, because some people were having some really weird experiences there. Because he's got some legit stuff going on there. Like he's got some serious.
Oh yeah,
stuff.
there's some seriously creepy haunted stuff there that that the guests have experiences with, and I was a little nervous walking through it. I didn't really have anything like that, but
here's an interesting one. We're talking about different kinds of kind of content. A friend of mine. His paranormal experience was so severe that the I can't remember what they're called now. What was the name of the really famous creepy old investigating couple? Somebody in the side chat.
I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah.
You know who I'm talking about, right?
From the Amityville Horror? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they went and interviewed him and his brother because of how severe the activity was. So maybe with Halloween coming up, we'll maybe grab some spooky guests for some midweek entertainment for all you guys, because
that would be cool.
His stories, the Warrens, thank you. His story's wild.
Yes, the Warrens.
And he's a lovely guy.
Warrens.
I think your audience would like that. I think it would be a nice little change of pace for you all. So yeah. There we go.
Do we have any questions? Let's chat about whatever you guys want to talk about.
We got more questions, don't you worry. Are you familiar with Merle Allen? She's got museums worth of serial killer memorabilia.
Yes, I just answered that question.
You just answered that question. Okay, I beg your pardon. Sorry.
No, sorry. I'm familiar with him. It's a him. It's a
him.
guy.
Okay, so that was a total fail on my part. I couldn't have failed
That's right.
anymore if I tried. Get some more questions in. Good to see everybody here as well. Thanks everyone for joining us tonight. And
I want to say, I don't know how many of these lives we're going to do. We'll do as many as we can.
Yeah.
We got holidays, we got touring coming up. I got a lot going on, but I will tell you this: Ron will continue to post a video every week or two.
Yeah.
And I want to fire up my microphone here, and I'm going to start doing a lot more serial killer interviews. So you guys are going to meet a lot of new serial killers, and I also like when we do the experts, Ron. The interviews with the experts are always
Well,
pretty cool
listen,
too.
do you know what? I was just actually thinking I'm going to send an email off to the guy that runs the murder auction and get him in and see if he wants to
Yeah.
come in for an interview because again, to you and me, you know, a lot of this stuff is kind of every day. You know, it's you're kind of immune to how
Mhm.
interesting it is, and I think that would be a really interesting interview to hear. You know, the most interesting pieces he's had through the entire website because everything that you
Yeah.
get from there is like wow. Um, so I
I've never
imagine.
bought it. I've never bought anything from there, actually.
Okay, well, still, it's a fairly interesting
Yeah.
looking site, and like I say, the stuff that
Oh,
you
it's
have.
super cool. The one guy that I know that runs that, he would love to do an interview with us. I promise you that.
Wicked. I'm trying to get a hold of some bloods. I would really like to, because the new series of Dexter is starting. It'd be really
Mhm.
interesting to get like a blood splatter expert, somebody who's in the forensic side of
Can see you, Wendy.
the killer.
Come
Listen,
on in here.
I just want to say
Come on in here, Wendy.
big shout out to
Come
Wendy's
on in. Now,
combat
now I'm gonna hold
rolling.
up the show until Wendy comes.
Yeah, Wendy. Yeah, that's it.
Daisy is right here. You want to see how
Daisy.
Daisy's doing after surgery? Here,
Yeah,
Daisy.
let's careful though. Careful.
This is little Daisy after her surgery.
She's fucking not
She's like
little.
This
She's
guy is weird right here. See this little weird man? That's Ron. You heard
you're
about Ron before.
yes.
He's kind of strange, isn't he? She's licking me.
He's
So
a
yeah,
little
Daisy's doing
funny.
good. Wendy's having a good hair day. Wendy, come say hi to them.
Wendy is having a
Come
good
here,
hair
Wendy.
day. Wendy's having a great hair day.
Come here and say hello to them. Wendy's having a great. Ron said Wendy's having a great hair day. Say hello to these guys. Say hello to everybody. She's taking Daisy for a walk. So
Yeah. The ever camera shy Wendy,
yes.
ladies and gentlemen. So here's another one. Do you think Bundy possibly killed any sex workers to feed his addiction? From James McJames II. Do you think Bundy possibly killed any sex workers to feed his addiction?
Yes, I am 100% positive that Bundy. Imagine this, you guys. You know how dangerous Ted Bundy is. He's an extremely dangerous guy. Like, he's the most dangerous type of killer, and that's why he's probably the most famous serial killer in American history because he's the prototypical killer, right? He's the ultimate boogeyman.
Yeah.
He's good looking. He's well spoken. He doesn't look like a killer. You're willing to help him load up a bike or a boat or whatever he has, and you fall for his ruses. So imagine that guy driving a Volkswagen, which isn't a scary vehicle, all across the country. Okay,
Yeah.
we know he was in Utah. We know he was in Washington. We know he came down. We know he came through like Nevada. He went all the way up to Chicago and up to Illinois, came down and ended up in Florida. Who knows how many people Bundy killed? I mean, shit, we have 145,000 unsolved murders in the United States alone, and
That's
3
a
to
lot.
4,000 every year. So we'll never know how many he killed, and he would never say. But he did say right before he died, he told his attorneys, and they didn't say this until later, that I killed at least 100 people. I know my murder numbers are 3 digits, and I believe him.
Yeah. Here's an interesting one. Now, you might not have a take on this one, Phil. What's your take on the supposed group of killers that look for drunk victims, drown them, making it look like an accidental death and painting a smiley face on the nearby wall? Milo, there's actually a documentary that completely debunks the smiley face.
The smiley face killers.
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah.
The guy who actually made the documentary was literally caught painting the smiley faces on the walls. I think it was him trying to create the mythology so that the police would investigate the crimes. So I think his intentions were kind of good, but that's the last time I looked into the smiley face killers was when that documentary. So maybe he fucked it up and there is a group of killers. I'm not saying there's not, but for me that was my last take on it. So Phil, do you have anything you want to throw in on that? Do you even know what we're talking about?
I'm familiar with that case. I'm familiar with the smiley face murders. Like, it's never been solved. Is it an urban legend? Is it a real case? We don't know. Now there's a real smiley face killer, Keith Jesperson.
Yeah.
He was out in Oregon. He was drove a truck driver.
Sure.
And I was so excited. His daughter, who's on TV, her name's Jesperson. She liked she actually liked one of my posts the other day, which is kind of cool. So, um, she's got some great. She's great. She's doing TV, I think, for Crime Watch Daily, and she's written a
Wicked.
book, Serial Killer's Daughter, and she's sharp young lady. So, the smiley face killer does exist, but I'm not sure about the smiley face murders. I think that's part of the problem.
I'm thinking that maybe the one that we got the question about is actually in the UK. I might be
Okay.
wrong. I might be wrong again, but it could be. Here's another one for you, Phil. This is from Angela Nicole. Do you think Son of Sam acted alone?
I do. I've gotten to know David Berkowitz very well. Him and I talk often, and I've known him for a long, long time, like 30 years. So I've had a long time to get to know him, to know if he's full of shit or not.
Shit.
And
okay.
I've watched him. Go ahead, Ron.
No, sorry, no. I was reading a comment and then had a very badly placed laugh right in the middle of you talking. So I do apologize.
Well, hold that comment for next. But no, I don't believe there was no barking dogs. The whole thing was made up by his attorney. He said that none of that is true.
Okay.
He acted alone. There wasn't multiple people. There was no satanic cult. He said he was playing around with the devil, and
he's maybe not a snitch, Phil. He's maybe just not a snitch.
If you don't
listen, I'm just saying that sounds like the sort of thing that anyone would say.
Not him. Some guys, yes. Clyde Gibson, yes. There are guys that would not. Delmas Colvin wouldn't snitch.
Yeah, nah.
This guy, if it really happened, what does he have to lose? He's going to die soon.
Yeah.
I think he would say. I think he would say something about it, and I trust. Sure. I'm not 100%, but I have a feeling that he acted alone.
Well, okay, yeah.
What is your funny comment?
Listen to this. Listen to this. Kieran 32. Once I picked up a hitchhiker, and he said to me, "Imagine I could be a serial killer." I said, "It's unlikely that there would be two serial killers in the one car. Fucking brilliant.
I have heard that. Before. It's really funny.
I'm a noob to that one. That's probably the oldest one in the book, but
it's a good one.
That was a good one. Yeah, I like that.
You know what's funny? I'll just give you a little insight into my brain. When I hear that story,
yeah,
and I've heard that a couple times, I don't know why, but I think of Ed Kemper.
Okay.
I don't know why. Ed Kemper picked up hitchhikers, and when I hear that story, my mind goes to Ed Kemper sitting in the car with me. I don't know. That's weird.
Oh, that's definitely
twisted ass mind.
That's definitely like you couldn't script this shit moment for a serial killer. Like if a fucking hitchhiker gets in the car and says, "Hey, I could be a serial killer," like you would be getting bludgeoned to death in the back of the car, thinking to yourself, "Fuck!" Like of all the people to say that to.
Here's a good question: Has a serial killer ever killed a serial killer besides Dexter?
I could answer.
Which, by the way, I do love that show.
Yeah, it's a great show.
We have a guy, Christopher Scarver killed Jeffrey Dahmer.
Yeah,
and we're working on a possible interview with Christopher Scarver, who killed Jeffrey Dahmer.
Okay,
and we have a guy that just strangled the I-5 Strangler. So this really sucks. I was getting ready to interview the I-5 Strangler. And for our podcast, and we were so excited. He'd never talked to anybody before. It's going to be his first interview, and he gets killed and he gets strangled in his cell by another killer named Jason Boudreaux. So Roger Kibbe, Kibbe, Roger Kibbe, the I-5 Strangler, was strangled by Jason Boudreaux. I'm trying to get an interview with Jason Boudreaux. If it doesn't go to the podcast, it'll come to the YouTube channel. This guy's story is fascinating. He groomed a serial killer. He got him to trust him.
Damn.
He talked him into letting him be a cellmate.
Shit.
He convinced all the guy's friends that were very leery of anybody. And as soon as he got in the cell the first night, he strangled to death the I-5 Strangler. I just find that story fascinating to me.
That's mad. I mean, if you didn't have the whole, grooming him and getting, the whole pre-planning of it all, it probably wouldn't be that cool a story, just a killer killing another killer. But that was a good one. Listen.
That's why I say it's so cool. When he told me he groomed him, and I'm like, whoa, you got my attention. Like that is super
Yeah,
interesting. Like how did,
yeah, like the
I
back.
want to find out how he did that. You
Yeah,
know, how
it's
did
not
you do that?
the strangling part's the least interesting part of the story. Do you see what I
Right,
mean? It's like it's the what can be done from a maximum security. He's in
right.
maximum. We're not talking about roomies on the outside here. We're talking about cellies on the inside. You know,
Yes,
and
yes,
and the fact that he strangled him, I imagine that he probably just used his hands. So
he did.
you know that the closer and more personal you are when it comes to killing, the more serious you are about it, sort of thing. So mad.
114 of you watching. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much. I know we have people from all over the world, and I appreciate all of you people. For the United States, folks, I do travel a lot. You can come see me tour. But for those in the UK, I'm working right now on coming to the UK. So
Oh yeah,
stay tuned.
yeah,
Stay tuned.
yes,
Let me work through this COVID
definitely.
bullshit, see what's
Yeah,
going on in the UK.
yeah. We'll wait and
And
see.
I want to fly out and I want to make an appearance at there's a true crime museum in London, I think,
Yeah.
that I want to come out, make an appearance, and hopefully get to meet all you guys, all my UK people.
Oh yeah.
So stay tuned for that. I'll let you know.
We'll definitely be setting that up for sure. Okay,
Hey,
so
Ron, this is weird. Ron, this is weird.
okay,
You and I were talking about what we're gonna post. You can see my phone here is live.
yeah,
So I've got the show live on
Yeah.
top.
yeah.
Look what just came across as an ad. It's the Howard Stern, a serial killer calls. Let me see if I can get it to work.
That's so weird.
Dude, talk about
How weird is that?
Dude, this is possessed because you and I
Dude,
just
we were
talked
just
about this.
been talking about that.
And it's wait, let
That's
me get it.
mad.
You can see it there. That's Howard Stern.
Yeah,
And it says the serial killer calls.
yeah, yeah. Exactly. That's mad. So
Dude,
that's creepy.
Work, camera, work. That's Howard Stern. See, we
Yeah.
just talked about that.
Yeah, that's mad.
Came across on some. I mean,
That's fucking weird. Google is
Dude.
listening. Google is listening. That was
Dude.
like what? That was like what? An hour and 20 minutes ago.
Watching our Big Brother's watching our podcast,
Yeah.
man.
Okay, here's another one.
YouTube.
We've had a couple of mentions of somebody, and I don't want to. The saying, oh, any sort of positive words about serial killers is not really good, but the one that fascinates me, there we go. The one that fascinates me is Parker Ray. And he's been mentioned a couple of times in the side chat here. Parker Ray, the toy box killer. Like, give us your spiel on him, because I covered him in a documentary I made all about people that just got sexual gratification from torture. Because when the fucking hell in modern history have we had an alchemist who abducts people, drugs them to the point where he can abuse them for weeks, dump them at the side of the road, and then they don't remember that shit? Like,
yeah.
Do you see what I'm
trying
saying?
to show you. I'm trying to show you a phone. I'm covering up the phone number, but it's not working.
Oh,
I have Cynthia Hendy,
Yes.
who's his girlfriend, in my phone. Her and I text each other often. I'm trying to get her to do an interview, but right now, so far, she's been released from prison.
Yeah.
She doesn't really want to talk about it, which sucks because she has the inside scoop to David Parker Ray.
Well,
David Parker Ray, when people say to me, Ron, who are the worst, most violent, most savage serial killers? I mean, they all are, but the worst, it's the toolbox killers out in California.
Yeah.
Bittaker and Norris. You have to say David Parker Ray, the toy box killer.
No, Bittaker and Norris were they were the ones that drove around in the van, right?
Yeah, Murder Mac van.
Did you know there's a clip, and again, I covered this in my documentary. There's a clip of two women running out of the courtroom when they played the tapes.
Oh, I'm sure.
The audio tapes of these women dying.
I'm sure.
And when the door opens, because the press are on the outside, dude, when the door opens, you get like a snippet of that sound fill. And
listen, I've heard, dude, I've seen the what do you call it when they type? You can't. When they don't listen to
the transcripts.
The transcript. That's it. Transcript, dude. So those guys are like, but there's another guy. There's another couple. You all need to look this guy up. Leonard Lake and Charles Nigg, and his name is Charles N.G.
Oh, I know them as well.
Leonard Lake. Yep. Leonard Lake, Charles Nigg. They're very similar to the toolbox killers. David Parker Ray's right there, the toy box killer.
Yep.
All those guys tortured. So did the Houston mass murders. the Candyman. He was into torture. What the hell's the Candyman? David, look up, somebody went real quick, throw it in the chat, Google it. I blanked on the name. It's the Houston mass murders in Texas, and they called him the Candyman. Oh, Coral. His last name's Coral. I'm blanked out on his name, so sorry. But Coral used to do the same thing. I think his name's Coral. Somebody throw it in the chat, give me his name.
Okay.
But he also tortured little boys. He would tie them up on a plywood board.
It's mad.
It was really bad.
And it's weird because the Nig and his, I can't remember what was his partner's called? His partner in crime.
Oh, David Parker Ray?
No, the other guy, the other two. They had
it was
Charles
Lake, Leonard Lake, and Charles Nig.
That's it.
Were the two of them.
Leonard Lake. He had this godlike opinion of wanting to have the perfect slave woman.
Yes.
Okay. And I think what differentiated between him and Parker Ray was Parker Ray didn't really have an interest in them walking around and serving him as much, I would imagine. He was just more locking them away for fun. And yeah, that is a wild case, especially.
You know what, Ron? When you take the lust, for all of you listening, there's several different types of serial killers, and they're all very, very different. But the one specific serial killer that most of us think all serial killers are is the lust killer. The guy that travels around and wants to rape and kill you.
Yeah.
The ultimate dream, goal, fantasy of a lust killer is to have sex slaves. And you've seen that from, all the way back. Jeffrey Dahmer wanted to have sex slaves. He tried to make them into robots. Even BTK, Dennis Rader, wanted sex slaves. He was going to buy a barn and house people in his area, in that barn. There was a guy that had women in the basement in Philadelphia. I'm blanked out on his name right now. Usually I know. But there's a lot of these guys, including Toolbox Killers, David Parker Ray, and Charles Nig and Lake. They all wanted sex slaves. They unfortunately you can't keep a woman too long, right? You got to have it set up. And I believe, and I've said this, and I hope I'm wrong, but I believe that we have a lot of missing children. We have a lot of unsolved cases. I believe that there are, you're driving down a neighborhood, there are many homes, many areas where there's like prisons or, like a prison in the basement where women or men are kidnapped and housed. And I know that's terrible, but
dude,
I hope I'm wrong,
there was, I watched a movie, I think it was on Netflix, and it was a true story, all about a little girl who was kidnapped when she was 8, I think. She stayed, 11 years with her captive and then escaped. Then he got arrested, and then she bought the house that she was captive in and now lives in it alone. It's mad how, I wouldn't say they pop up all the time, but it's mad how common it is. I mean, look at Fritzl out in I think it was Amsterdam or Austria, sorry. He had his fucking family in the basement for over a decade.
I think I heard about that case.
Yeah, you definitely did. You definitely did.
Yeah. Well, let's hope we're wrong, Ron, but unfortunately, you don't have 150,000 unsolved murders and 80,000 missing people. They're not all dead. I promise you, they're not all dead.
100%. 100%. And did you know what? We don't even have to go as Hollywood as serial killers. The fact of the matter is, Phil, the biggest growing criminal enterprise is people trafficking. You're talking about close to $40 billion a year industry just in the US and the Americas. It's a lot easier to travel across the border with a young girl or a guy in the back of your car than it is a kilo of cocaine. It's a lot easier to get access to a vulnerable human than it is a bunch of drugs, and that's why it's become so profitable, and it's insane. It's insane. So I would imagine some are caught up in that too.
I'm going to say this is crazy. I live in Cleveland.
Yeah.
About 10 minutes from my house, maybe 3 miles, maybe less. A guy was kidnapping women and keeping them in his basement. His name was Ariel Castro. Y'all could look him up. Ariel
Yeah.
Castro, Castro. And I think he had 3 women in his basement. One of them, he got pregnant. She had a baby, and he was somehow able to keep them in his basement. And he had friends. He had friends over. He had barbecues. He played in a band. And one of them somehow got loose and ran to the neighbors. And Ariel Castro was arrested. Unfortunately for me, he killed himself in jail the next day or the next week or the next month.
I swear to
so
God.
We'll get to never interview him. But yeah, I mean, that's everybody's fantasy.
One week we've got to have a friend of ours.
My wife made me a cosmopolitan.
Look at that fucking glass! Holy shit! That is
serial killer guy drinks pink Cosmos.
Yeah, listen, I drink Cosmos, but I ordered 3 of them and I pour them in a big glass. Okay.
Okay. No, not when your wife gives you a Cosmo on your YouTube live. You drink it.
Yeah, you drink. Hell yeah, you do. Big shout out to Wendy at the bar. So a good friend of ours, Aiko, we've got to get her on one day because if you want to hear the ultimate story, okay, it is the most savage tale you will ever hear. We're talking about this guy who effectively kidnaps an entire family, convinces them to murder each other and then cannibalize and eat each other until there's only one left. And this is one of the maddest stories you'll ever hear. So when we start
what country was it in, Ron?
That was Japan, I think.
Okay.
That's Aiko's.
She does a lot of the Asian. She does a lot of the Asian crimes, doesn't she?
Yes. But this is one of those stories that she's got it on her channel, but you need to hear her tell it because it is just the first time she did it, she didn't manage to get through it all, and I'm pretty sure she broke down halfway through. It's so tragic.
Wow.
So we'll set all that up, absolutely. But again, it's when.
Is there any Wendy's going to hand me something? Is there any other new? Anybody have any questions that I could wrap up here? We have 6 minutes left. Thank you so much for being here. Over 100 you guys have been here. I appreciate that so much.
Yeah, we do.
Make sure you follow me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. That's important. So we have a game today.
Oh shit.
This is my team right here. This is the Cleveland Browns.
Okay.
And for those in the UK, this is the real football, not soccer, but football. They're the only team basically without a logo. That's how sad we are in Cleveland. Your football team has no logo.
What the fuck do you mean it doesn't have a logo?
No logo. It's just there's no logo. This is it.
So how the fuck is it a team if it doesn't have a fucking logo? Like,
can we get the Browns? They're the Browns. They have no logo. But listen, Ron, they're going to be really good this year, and I'm going to need all my people to team up with me and follow the Cleveland Browns.
I can tell you what they won't be doing. They won't be walking around in Cleveland merch. Okay, I tell you that much. Fucking who doesn't? Can we get a GoFundMe started for that fucking team, please, and get them? There's $5, Fiverr.com.
Our baseball team is called the Indians, and they had to change the name because it offended people. So now they're called the Guardians.
The Guardians. Oh, there's Aiko. She's just popped in. Aiko, we were just saying we need to arrange to have you come on and tell that story of the Japanese family who got kidnapped and eaten and killed. We were just Phil was just talking. Here, maybe the problem isn't society. Maybe the problem is basements. Maybe we just need to stop.
It always happens in a basement.
Let's just start doing background checks. You want to buy this house with a basement? We got to run some checks first, is what I'm thinking. But
there was a house for sale just came up in Missouri. It was an old jail that the warden or somebody lived in, the sheriff lived in, and dude, this is a normal house from the outside. And it was actually very beautiful. And the entire basement was a jail with different cells and toilets and everything. And I told Wendy we should buy it and do our museum in it. It'd be fucking cool.
Fuck yeah.
But I don't want to really live in Missouri, so.
Sorry to anyone who lives out in Missouri. Big shout out to Missouri. I tell you
what. He's from Missouri. Listen, anybody who lives in Missouri will tell you it's too fucking hot there. So.
Well, I tell you what. Why don't we've got Aiko. That's a live stream. I've got another friend of ours who's into some pretty dark stuff. So why don't we have a night?
Let's get the guy from Murder Auction. His name is William Harder.
Yeah, absolutely.
William Harder.
Those are givens, right? But I think we should do a night where you and myself and another person, we all pick a murder house and try and find the most outrageously constructed murder house in history.
That's
Okay,
so funny.
do you see what I mean? And we'll present our findings, and then the viewers can vote. The viewers can then vote on which murder house was the most, shall we say, kitted out. Shall we say? You know what I
Hey,
mean?
listen, in the last 3 minutes, I want to just again give a shout out to my friend Sick Rick
Yep.
Mass. This is his T-shirt. And if you missed the beginning of the live stream, he makes masks, and this is Richard Ramirez, the Night Stalker. I thought it turned out really well. Very cool. It's number 30 of his masks.
And these universally fit any love doll, right?
I don't even know what you're talking about.
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know. No, but
this is H.H. Holmes.
Oh yeah.
One of the earlier serial killers. I thought that was cool.
That's a great segue.
Some of you guys might know this guy. He was really short, but he had a family.
Oh yeah.
My dog's going crazy over these masks. She's freaking out.
Yes.
Yeah, you all know who this guy is. This is good old Charlie.
Charlie. That's mad. That is mad.
Hey, you guys, I'm going to get ready for the football game tonight. It was awesome hanging out with you, Ron. Between Ron and I, we'll come out with some really good live streams. And you guys, I want to bring some more experts on, Ron. I want to have the guy that I talked to that's the necrophilia expert. When you hear him talk about crimes and why people do what they do, it is an eye-opener. So I'm going to work on him as well.
Well, we'll 2-for-1 it anyway. We'll try and slip in our documentary chat with him as well and save double booking him. But listen, everyone, thank you for joining us again on this wonderful Sunday. At least you didn't have to put up with another Serial Sunday like last week where we talked about cereal in all of its glory. So thank you very, very much. Big thank you to Phil. Big thank you to Wendy and Daisy. And we'll see you all again very soon. Stay tuned for when the next live is going to be. I know Phil's. We'll see what's happening next week and
might be a couple weeks because next week's a holiday. So
touring and holidays. Yeah. So
all right, man.
Right. Listen. Thank you, everyone, and we'll see you all super soon. And thank you. Okay. Bye bye.
Thanks.
I can't find the button. Here it is. Yes.